Woo! How's it going, everybody? This Thursday evening. Tyler's like, Luxe idle leaks? Not really. Probably not. What are you guys talking about in here already? Link Arbitrator says, Arbiter? I'm never going to know how to pronounce that. Waiting for the VASA version of the Thumper. The current bottom line ASA version can only handle high pressure air. Supposedly, the VASA version is going to fix that. I don't know. The Thumper? Is that the Metadyne Thumper? Like the kind of makes a, thumper sound when it's shooting off stuff? Probably, I don't know. It's like the grenade launcher. I've never got to use one of those. They're pretty cool. They look like they're a lot of fun. I've always kind of want to make like a shotgun kind of like thing. I wanted to make a potato gun that I'm able to shoot like 100 paintballs at a time or something like that. Joe, hello from Pocokee, Florida. Welcome. Where is everybody at? LA, cold? What is it, 50? It's 60. It was 60 today. Well, I'm not in LA though, but LA's probably about the same. We're pretty good about the same winter weather. Up here in Sacramento though, it can get 110 in the summer. You're not getting that from LA often. Sharp out there in Colorado. Christian in New Jersey. Christian Bruno. Bruno is a cool last name. I kind of like that. Williams in Virginia. I was going to say something else. I don't know. We got Ohio. We have Vegas. Vegas is probably it's pretty nice in Vegas right now. Another Floridian. Keith says it's 49 degrees in the deep south of Louisiana. That's not bad. That's good. 30 there in Pennsylvania, though. I don't know about that. Fresno, California. There we go. Walter from the Netherlands. Hello. I always get like the Netherlands and like Dutch people mixed up. It's the same thing, but I always for some reason think like Dutch is like a country for some reason, just quickly all the time. I don't know. It's a thing we're harping on. 28 degrees in northern Colorado. Nope, I don't like that. Colorado, another Colorado. 31 degrees. Everyone's telling me the weather where they're at. I like it. We have a St. Petersburg, Florida. It's probably kind of nice in St. Pete right now. It's St. Pete, right? Yeah. I think about St. Pete. What baseball team? Is there a baseball team in St. Petersburg, Florida? No. There's no Major League Baseball team in St. Petersburg, Florida. Dumpster Baby Tony says, KMP has no bounce to it. Yeah, there's a little bit. I tried to, in that video I made of the kinetic modular pack about 2 weeks ago now. I really tried to show in that video just how much the pack doesn't move, but it's really kind of hard to demonstrate that a little bit on camera. I mean, you can kind of see where the other ones jiggle up and down quite a bit more, but it's still a little bit hard to demonstrate how secure and how they do kind of feel quite a bit nicer, I think. Mike says it's 28 degrees in New Hampshire. That's the reason I don't live in New Hampshire. That's actually not bad though. I mean, it could be -4 or something crazy. Little Weeder, you gotta twerk with the pack on for demonstration. I did, but I don't know if I really put it in the video. Mainly because I was like, oh, you can make it bounce if you go like this and do crazy stuff, but you don't really do that when you're playing, So I tried to make it like I was sort of running, but then you don't really run in place that much, when you're playing paintball either. You got you got a little bit more forward momentum, just a little bit maybe. Some of them are considerably worse than others. I think the carbon packs, from my experience, are probably the most bouncy. I don't know. Let's see what we're going to talk about. Paintball Gateway has the Paintball Gateway Whisper Drive Bolt Valve Chamber for the EMAC Ether 2 and the EMF 100. We'll talk about that for a little bit. There was some very, very cool night blacklight glow-in-the-dark paintball stuff that went down at Paintball Fit. We're going to watch some of those videos. There's a rumor, or not a rumor, I should say we have like kind of confirmation of an Adrenaline Luxe Idol. There's some new dye triggers for their guns. That's about all. Maybe we'll talk about the Shocker Era. Although we've talked about the Era quite a bit in the last couple weeks, but I have another one in hand. I bought one on Tuesday. So maybe we'll talk about that a little bit. Nick Sloviak and Dylan Fout filmed a video last night like the one they did last year. I don't even know what that is, unfortunately. I don't even remember what whatever they filmed last year was. Although it's very possible that I completely just missed the entire thing. That wouldn't be that groundbreaking. So let's, I don't know, we'll just talk about this thing. This is the new bolt, kinda, or firing can for the EMEC, Ether 2, and EMF 100. And essentially what it is, I'm going to go to my notes really fast. We can just read what they actually say. So from Paintball Gateway, it's for your EMEC, Ether 2, and EMF 100. Will have higher flow and lower operating pressure, which makes it easier on paint. It says improved shot-to-shot consistency. I don't know. Lower sound signature. An extra 20 shots. Says extra CF20 mag on the EMF 100. That probably is going to matter what size tank you have. But it says expect 8% increased efficiency across the EMEC and EMF platform, also Ether 2. This will also work on the Ether 2. And kind of what they've done is just really opened that thing up. You can see if I put on that right there, that just kind of shows where they cut a lot of that material away. You can kind of see those little teeny connector pieces holding that firing can to, I don't know what they call that front piece. That blue piece? I don't know. Connected to that thing. And really just going to open it up and allow a little bit more airflow. But essentially what they've done is kind of recreate the valve chamber or that firing chamber that's on the Ether 3 or the Ether 3M, the 180R. They all use that same kind of firing can. The current one on the EMEC looks like that. So you can see that there's those holes right there that allow airflow versus all of the openness that's going to be, let's show that one. All of the openness that's going to be on the Paintball Gateway version. You can see it compared to the Ether 3. So that's the Ether 3 version that's way open and very similar to that Paintball Gateway one. But the Paintball Gateway one's going to be able to go into your EMEC, Ether 2, I'm sorry, and EMF 100. So they've kind of just created the firing chamber. They've kind of just recreated the Ether 3 firing chamber for the EMEC, which is kind of cool. I actually like seeing these upgrades. It kind of just makes it look a little more interesting. Paintball Gateway also made their like full auto bolt piece that allows the EMEC to go full auto, which they eventually ended up selling to HK Army, and you can buy that now from HK Army. But I just think it's cool. I think it's neat that smaller companies are doing this, and I just kind of like it. I don't know how much they are. Why didn't I put how much they were going to be, though? I don't know. Let's find out really fast. They are going to be $65, and they're available for pre-order right now, so you actually cannot purchase them yet, but you'll be able to, or you can pre-order them. They're just not shipping yet, but they should be shipping any day now. I mean, it says mid-January on their website, so I imagine we'll see them soon. So for all you tweakers out there that love to tweak on all your paintball stuff, there's another something for you to tweak on. What are you guys talking about? Do you recommend peanut tanks? It's hard even to know what people mean by that because it means something so different to everybody. It depends on who you ask what a peanut tank is. But I would say it's probably going to be the 50 4500. You know, and I think when it comes to tanks, it really just kind of is preference. You know, they don't do anything different. They're just different shaped, and they're just bigger. So if you need to get like, you know, if you need to shoot 1,500 shots, you know, that 50 probably isn't going to work. If you only want to shoot, you know, 200 shots or 500 or 600, that 50 should work. But it's going to kind of just come down to how it feels on the gun. You know, like I, you know, shoot about 600 shots a game. Every time we go out, we play a couple, and I only shoot about 600. So I could, you know, deal with that 50. I don't really need the extra shots of the larger tank. It just makes the gun so short on me that I prefer that little extended feel that, you know, just a regular 68, you know, or an 80 or a 77 or something like that can get. So it really is just kind of preference. Smaller tanks for smaller people, yeah, it just depends on what you like, right? Like I'm big, so I like that big tank. If you don't have like long arms, you know, you can probably get away with something shorter. And also if you want short, I like that 45, that old school, maybe more traditional size. So it's kind of just really just sort of preference. Just getting some things together for duck hunting while enjoying the live stream. We'll go kill some fowl. I assume you're going tomorrow, not tonight. People don't night hunt ducks, do they? I you know, I was into duck hunting a lot when I was like 6. You know, you get the like a duck hunt for like a Nintendo. I played duck hunt a whole bunch. I made a whole bunch. It was very novel and a pretty cool game. Duck hunt. Remember like the Super Scope? Did anyone have the Super Scope for Super Nintendo? They had like that big gray like bazooka launcher thing. I know I had it. I just can't remember like what we ever played for it. I was watching something today about Nintendo. It's crazy to think that like Tetris for Nintendo technically, I guess, had never been beat before. And some kid just finally like beat Tetris apparently. He like got it to freeze and lock out like nobody had ever done before. It's crazy that no one had ever done that. And Tetris is so old. It's kind of crazy how like people are consistently getting better at Tetris. It's kind of crazy. Salvatore, whoa, first live stream tuning in live. And that's not what you said. You said, yo, first time tuning in live. I'm just getting back into the sport after 2-year hiatus. You know, I've done that before. I think that I've gone on, two-year hiatuses before. Old Soul says, not the Super Scope, but I still have a Duck Hunt and Gotcha. Gotcha was that like paintball game. I don't think I ever played Gotcha. Let's try to find, I wonder if we can find video. I wonder, whoop. I mean, here's some right here. Let's watch this. Let's check this out. So this, I don't really know a lot about this. We'll watch that in a second here, though, too. So this is Gotcha, the sport. That's pretty crazy. We're gonna skip around a little bit. So this is 1987. That's crazy. I mean, we talk about like paintball video games, and like maybe this is the most influential paintball video game ever made. Listen to that music. Although it's like, I don't know what is going on even. There's like guys in the trees. Very chaotic. Are there different levels? Ooh, a castle level? We have a Siberia level where you get to fight the Ruskies. More castles. Yeah, it's not so exciting, but that's Gotcha. Gotcha, the paintball video game. Most of you probably never played that. You know, I was, you know, barely a little kid when that came out. Send It 650 says, what paintballs do you recommend? You asked that multiple times. Only twice, I think. Don't get too crazy. I'll ban people if you go crazy. You know, I don't know. It's gotten very difficult. I mean, so many of these paintball fields, well, let's say like 10 years ago, it was kind of easier to say, but I think that most of the paintball fields nowadays are field paint only. So it's very difficult to say, use these ones because they're the best. So I would definitely look into what paintball fields you're going to, or, you know, can you even use outside paint? There's some colors that certain fields don't allow and stuff like that. So I don't really know. I mean, I would say still, I think that the Valken stuff is probably the most consistent. I think that it's mostly, probably the most consistently round thing. But it really kind of just matters batch to batch, and I don't think that there's a paint company right now that dramatically stands out. You know, I've been using the Defy stuff kind of recently. I really like the Defy paint. I've been using this Dynasty. We talk about that a lot. I've been using this Dynasty, like tournament ball or whatever they're calling that. I don't even know what they call it. Dynasty paintballs. Dynasty Pro paintballs. That stuff's good, you know. So I don't know. It's all up to you. 2-bit. Good evening. It's the banana ball. Yeah, it's got that banana scent. And it works. I mean, it's really just kind of like a 5-star or 4-star. It's really kind of like 4-star, I'd say. Well, I don't know. It's like a 4/5-star. Hot Dog Water says, Valken Graffiti is what we use for Outlaw Ball. Or bring every first Sunday of the month. Yeah, I've liked the graffiti. The graffiti's been very good for quite a while. Yeah, and it's just really consistent. I mean, it's always like the same shape. It's going to be a little bit harder, I think, than some of the other stuff, maybe in that price range. But the fill's definitely good. Yeah. Adam says, we need a new Greg Hastings tournament paintball game. So many good memories playing for the original Xbox game. I've been rocking out the playlist lately. I didn't like that game. I don't know. I am going to get Virtua Paintball. If anybody's been following, if you've been listening to these live streams at all recently, you would know that a new video game is kind of coming out. There's been quite a few lately. There's also, I want to copy this. There's also that Infinite Paintball that's kind of honestly a little bit similar to Virtua Paintball. But Virtua Paintball is coming out. Here's a video from Mafia Productions. And this is just a beta. This isn't like their full version of the game yet. But they're going to release a second beta, I believe, at the end of this week or early next week. And I'm going to have a code for that. So hopefully we can try to play this on the next live stream if I've got a code in time. Which I should. I mean, I don't know why I shouldn't. But I'm absolutely terrible at games. I don't really play video games. I never really have. I don't know. I just never really got into it. So we'll see how terrible I am at this game. I really like the way it looks. I mean, it just looks really good. But apparently there's like some weird buttons or like weird like shortcut commands you got to know to like reload or something like that. It's not the most intuitive. But that stuff, they could probably change fairly simply with just remapping keys or, just through updates. It is kind of weird how they have the triad. I always thought it was weird because it's like the triad loader, and then they're using the V-Force, the Field 1 Force. So there's just two kind of odd hopper and gun choices. At least you can buy a Force. I don't even know if the triad's ever going to be a product. We've been waiting on that thing for like 4 years, and I've totally given up on even thinking about it. William Wiseman said VR paintball would be legit. There's also another one. There's called VR Snapshot. Yeah, this isn't really like, This isn't really like full, like technically paintball, but it's very similar. As there's like, you know, it's kind of VR snapshot. And this you use VR for. You use that was weird. And this you use VR. I mean, actually see the guy in the top. I don't know anything about VR. I think this is all Oculus stuff. And this you have to, like, you know, shoot normal with your hands and stuff like that, and crouch down, and you can snap shoot and stuff like that. I think that I've heard Marcelo talk about this and how he's tried to use it before. And I don't know. I don't really know. Grit Paintball. What's Grit Paintball? Grit Paintball sounds like a company, right? I'm pretty sure it is. So there is some of this stuff. It's just not... I don't know. I mean, paintball's just not big enough, you know, where we can't get... you know, it's not going to be a huge game. Although, you know, Greg Hastings was a big, huge game, and they put a lot of money into it, so... I don't know. Get off the gaming chair and play some physical sports like paintball. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't play video games, so who knows? Yeah, the inability to communicate in Virtua makes it a bit unrealistic and challenging. Yeah, for sure. It'd probably be better if we could like, you know, communicate. But in real paintball, it's really hard. It's hard to communicate too. You know, you got to think that like you're really only talking to the people really close to you. I mean, if you got a guy way over in the Doritos and you're in like the snake corner, he's probably not going to hear you. And I don't know, would we want communication? Because then it'd just be like 5 people yelling the whole time. And it's like, I don't know. I don't know how well it'd pan out. I mean, I don't know. They could definitely try it though. Aaron says, I played some Virtua Paintball and it was very clunky on controller, but good fun. If you don't have friends to play with, it's rough. It turns out communicating is important in paintball. There you go. Yeah, you can just use Discord. That's true. I mean, that's if you have friends on Discord and stuff. And like, I don't. I don't know. I don't really at all. So hopefully there's a way, like a waiting room, or you know, just a way to get dropped into games. Hot dog, yeah, it's going to be 3 degrees in Nebraska next weekend. You know, I'm hoping it's just not raining here. I'd really like to go play with the Shocker Era next Sunday, and I just kind of hope it doesn't rain. Who knows, though? Speaking of cool paintball stuff, let's look at this. Let's turn that down a little bit. So this past weekend, I believe, out at Paintball Fit, you can kind of see right there, there was a Paintball Fit in Texas. You know, I don't really know where, is it in, it's outside of Austin, right? I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's outside of Austin. Someone tell me in the chat. If Paintball Fit was, which major metropolitan area is Paintball Fit playing out of? But they set up a bunch of cool stuff. They had not glow in the dark. Oh yeah, I guess UV active or activated paintballs. And they put black lights literally all over the paintball field. Here's a little bit. I'll let them kind of like discuss.
Mech Expo.
Oh god.
Glow in the dark paint, black lights.
Everyone's deaf, sorry.
Playing mech ball.
I went into the field today and my jacket was raining and I was in the
Yeah, you have a good time? This is our first one at night, so we only did 4 teams, but it's great. Everybody loves it. You can see everything.
So yeah, it's definitely a mechanical X-Ball tournament. They just kind of ran, I guess, 4 teams. But look at that. Look at that. That's just crazy. They were lighting off fireworks.
Texas, and we are
I got some other clips we can watch that are pretty cool. And you can find all this stuff in a link in the description too. I mean, we had some guys out there, like here's Greedy Paintball with some POV action. The fireworks going off is crazy. I mean, it looks really cool, but look at how gross the ground looks. And like the bunkers are just crazy glowing. It looks a little bit difficult to see the other players, which kind of, I guess, could make it a little bit difficult. But just look at that. This is actually really cool. There's a clip at the end of this video that looks really cool. He like bunkers this guy, and then they get in a gunfight right here, and it just looks really cool. Like, look at the paint just coming right back, and he's like barely missing. You know, this is what we've talked about. I mean, we've talked about this a lot in, I mean, forever, really, having a way for paint to be more visible. And I don't know if this is the answer. I mean, obviously you have to play at night or indoors or something like that. And look at that, you can see the paint just go right in there. It's just really cool. Yeah, but who knows? I mean, we can't really do this outside. But I'd really like to, I mean, yeah, like I said, we've been talking about this forever. So it'd be really cool to see somehow maybe we see more of this. There's plenty of facilities that could do this. You know, I mean, there's plenty of locations around the world. And especially here, I mean, you could say Florida, Texas, or in California. We could easily do this stuff in the winter or in the summertime. So I think it's really neat. Did anybody go to this or like have friends that went to this or anything cool? Let me know. Let me know in the chat. I want to see if people like had fun or whatever. There's a couple more. Let's see. What's this one? So yeah, Verbal was out there. Verbal had a bunch of pictures or a bunch of video. And like I said, if you want to watch more of these or more detailed, I guess, there's definitely links in the below, and you can go find all those things. It looks really cool. Oh, the ground just looks crazy though, right? It looks like a star field or something crazy. Paint like blowing up and flying in the air, and looks really cool. They're using GI paintballs too, so this is not the HK Army glow-in-the-dark stuff, and I don't entirely know if they were like setting the paint under light. Were they putting the paint under UV light before they went out and played? Or is just having enough blacklight like this make it good enough so that the paint can show up? I mean, I think one thing you learn from watching this a little bit is having black clothes on. It's definitely seemed a little bit more advantageous. I mean, guys have like, you know, white beanies on and stuff, and it just shows up like crazy. Like that guy's neon beanie running away. You can just see him super easy. I just really liked it. It's really kind of fun. I'd love to be able to play something like this. I kind of wonder about the toxicity of everything though. Like, I don't know. Is that like UV stuff toxic or whatever? I don't know. It's kind of weird. Black light is UV light, true. I mean, it's, yes, well, sort of. I mean, it's technically not, but yeah. But yeah, anyway. Sack Roots with a $5 super chat. I know that name. Bobby. Hello, sir. I appreciate it. How are you? I think if you go to the paintball field Sunday, I'll probably see you. Here at Capitol Edge, on Sunday, there's a mechanical 5-man X-Ball tournament that we might go out to. I say we as in me. So, but thank you, sir. Super chats are freaking awesome. They're one of the ways that, you know, I can fund this whole entire thing. $5 at a time. Someone said Paintball Fit. I totally missed it. Paintball Fit is south of Dallas. So they're in the Dallas metro area, I presume. Because I was like, maybe they're in Austin, because Austin's south of Dallas too, right? We were supposed to do a 5-man mech tournament in Colorado as well this Sunday. Hopefully it's not like 8 degrees. Although Denver's not like super, super cold, and hopefully, this El Nino is like making it a little bit warmer outside. I've never even played a mechanical tournament. I'm trying to think. I've never played a mechanical tournament, although the last tournament I played was 2013, so there's that, It's not like... Not like I'm playing paintball tournaments all the time. I got a chance to play the Mech X-Ball Nightball event. Well, there you go. It was super fun. The glow-in-the-dark kind of felt like a gimmick to me, but it was a blast. Definitely an experience. Yeah, it's kind of good and bad, right? I mean, it just looks really cool. Whether it's any more fun to play, who knows, right? I think that it looks really cool watching, it looks cool, but it could be like, having that glow-in-the-dark stuff, it could be advantageous and bad at the same time, right? I mean, you can definitely see exactly where your paint's going, but then at the same time, you can just look around and see where everyone's shooting pretty easily and where they're shooting and all kinds of stuff. Maybe it'd be more... I think it's probably perfect for these one-off random events. It's probably great for that. I'd love to see indoor though, indoor... half blacklight, half regular lights or something like that. I'd like to see it. Nick from Guam. Hello. Thanks for streaming. Yeah, no problem. If you like it, if you like the live stream, at least, at least give the thing a like. It's kind of helpful. Or super chats are also helpful, Those are cool too. Jeremy, spotting and seeing wasn't that bad, though the thermal protection on the inner liner of the lens was glowing and kinda was in your vision. Huh. Yeah, you never think about that, right? I wonder that UV, that again, it's not really UV, right? I don't know. That blacklight hitting your lens. Yeah, it could kind of make it pop a little bit and might make it a little wacky looking. I wonder if using a yellow lens or something might do a better job. I don't know. Jose says, when I win the lottery, I will have an indoor paintball park here in PA. I wouldn't do it. Blacklight is UV. John says, all right, I'm wrong. Totally wrong. It's so confusing though, because we can't see ultraviolet light. Right? I don't think we can actually see ultraviolet light. Right? I don't know. Anyway. A single pane lens would have been good. Yeah, I even wonder about that though too, right? Because it's not perfectly clear. I don't know. Either way, it'd be cool. I'd like to try to play it. It'd be fun. Jose, we used to have one in Emma's, but it got shut down years ago. I don't know. Sorry, Jose. Closed for good. Shut down forever. I don't really have any pictures about this, but a couple weeks ago, we could show this. I mean, I guess we could sort of do it. We saw this video a handful of weeks ago, the Luxe Idol, the brand new Luxe, and Luxe says this is going to be the most redesigned gun they've ever made. So we're looking for big changes from this thing, but don't hold your breath. Well, one of the cool things is the Adrenaline Luxe. Adrenaline made custom versions of the Luxe TM40. They had a bunch of cool little knickknacks and upgrades. And we're definitely going to be able to, or we're definitely going to see one for the Luxe Idol. I don't know when it's going to be released though. They're going to start, I think, taking pre-orders fairly soon for it. There's some sort of system where you, subscribers to something, get something or something. I don't know. But I just put this up there to kind of talk about that. But they're going to be a Adrenaline Luxe. I mean, we talked about that a little bit. I kind of knew they were going to make a gun, but we weren't sure which one. And it's definitely going to be an Adrenaline Luxe Idol, which should make a lot of people happy. I mean, I really like Adrenaline. Adrenaline's one of the few companies that are making private label guns or like custom versions of guns that are actually different, right? I mean, we have like a lot of people doing it, right? HK Army are doing it. We have the Project G guns, like the Project G3 and G2. I'm definitely missing more people. But a lot of the time we'll say Infamous, but a lot of the time those guns are just different milled guns and there's nothing special about it. Where the Adrenaline guns came with like a bunch of neat things. They came with an additional timer on that mechanical frame, a different bolt. I think it came with no different barrels. But they actually added some upgrades that actually made it more unique than some of the other private label guns. So I'm kind of curious to see what changes they make to the Luxe Idol. Yeah. Old Soul says, no, violet is the closest we come to ultraviolet. Yeah, I was like, because we can't really see it technically. Technically, you'd be getting sunburned. Because, like, isn't ultraviolet UV, A, B, and C? And I think, like, when you go to a tanning bed, it's all UVB, right? Anyway. Nicholas Ferrand, how are you, sir? Thank you so much for a $10 super chat. I don't know if I've seen you around in here lately, have I? Either way, thank you. What's up? I don't know. I don't know what's up. Brett says, you just got a 1-8er today because of your review. Keep up the work. That's good, I think. I appreciate it. You know, hopefully you actually needed it. You weren't just like, that's a good review. I'm just going to buy this thing. John says, us old guys remember when there were like 15 different versions of the NXT Shocker. Were there only 15? Even before that, you know, there was the SFT Shocker. And the SFT Shocker was, there's Adrenaline right there. We should fly one out in a briefcase with a handcuff chain and do a review on Paintball Ruined My Life. You know, I like that idea. We could get like a military escort. Shocker SFT. I'm just going to talk about this because we were kind of in that territory. There were the Shocker SFTs, and there were so many versions of the Shocker SFT. And doesn't that kind of look like an SFT? I really like this. The Shocker era. We're going to like zoom in. Hopefully get that to stop shaking. I bought this the other day, and I actually broke it. I was removing the solenoid. Let's just do it. I'll show you what I did. But I fixed it, so it's not really like still broken. Is that the right size? I have to say too that I think these guns feel a little bit nicer. The Era feels slightly nicer than the Amp. One of the interesting, we'll say, things about these is they do have that toolless solenoid removal, which I don't know, I'm kind of on and off about. You know, I like how it's toolless. It just kind of is a little bit neat how you can just remove the solenoid without tools. But it's still a little flimsy, you know, like I was kind of on and off about this the whole time. So you really just push that bar forward. See, I can't like, it's a little hard to do. There we go. So to take this thing off, you just push this bar forward, or down, I should say. And then you can pull out that solenoid, the wiring. But, you know, the first time I did that, that red wire was only in there like, I mean, there was like this much, like barely any of that wire actually going into that plug. And I just pulled the wire completely out. It was kind of funny. And a little... See, this is what I don't like. See how this, like... This little piece, this plastic little clip holds on the solenoid. Or it's like holds the solenoid in place. But it just like, you know, comes right off. So it's kind of annoying how this actually mounts on there. And see how it's like just kind of loose and like rickety feeling? This is for sure still the most like fragile part of the gun. I don't really like it. Like, I'm not even going to try to put it back together because it's kind of annoying. So we're just going to put it over there and just put the frame back on. But I like it. I mean, I think that it's better than the amp. I mean, there's a couple things that they've changed that I think improve it a little bit. I honestly really like the way it looks. I think it looks better. I think the grips are better. I like how the on-off is a little bit smaller. They actually made the frame a little taller, so it's like a 1/4 inch taller, which I like. Kind of fits my hand a little better. I like the trigger. Although it's all like crazy adjusted right now. I gotta like readjust it. But I don't know. I mean, I feel that like, you know, the 180R, the Planet Eclipse 180R is definitely still a better option. I think that the build quality is better. It's more reliable. I don't like how these have like screws on the eye cover still. It kind of just feels a little bit older. But we will come to a more refined conclusion when I actually do the review. I just don't like this like stupid toolless eye cover thing, or no, like toolless solenoid removal. And I actually put a video of that on the Paintball Ruined My Life Patreon. So any of you guys over there that are in the silver or gold category, I'm actually going to change this around. I'm going to like probably get rid of this longer edits thing and then put like exclusive content or like a dish, something like that. So you can actually watch this over here if you are one of those tiered Patreon members. You kind of like watch me actually like disassemble and break the thing. The wire just popped right out. So go sign up for Patreon if you want to watch those things. You know, supporting on Patreon is much, much appreciated. I'm going to start pumping this Patreon thing a little more. The hard part, though, is that it's winter, and I, you know, intend to upload more stuff to this, but it's been winter, and I haven't been able to go to the paintball field as much. But there will be more exclusive stuff on there, like that. You get, like, this stuff is not online yet, so whoever, you know, saw those clips, you can get access to those clips. None of that stuff's even on the internet yet. So check out Patreon. You can find Patreon in a link in the description of this video. There's a plug. Now I just got to get people to sign up. If I could get like 1% of people watching to sign up, that'd be great. So if we could get like 1.1 people to sign up, that'd be awesome. Send it 650 says I signed up. I'm a gold member. Yeah, those gold members, you're also going to get access to the giveaways, right? Like 2 weeks ago, we gave away, about 2 weeks ago, that happened. It's going to be on the third Thursday of every month. Gave away a bunch of paintball DNA stuff. You got a gun stand. You got one of those blunderbuss things, a couple other things. And we're going to be giving away the carbon nano barrel, the carbon power insert nano barrel. I'm gonna try to use that next weekend, or maybe I'll film that. Maybe I'll film that video, parts of that video, this Sunday. I kind of just want to see what it sounds like, but I'm not gonna put that video on YouTube. It's gonna go on Patreon. I'll talk about that more when it actually comes up, though. I believe shockers are for us old school guys. I'm old school and I hate it. Not hate it. I mean, this is the best version ever, but I've never really liked shockers. You know, I never really liked the SFT, didn't like the NXT. And it really wasn't until the guns were newer with like the RSX that I even like thought about them. I mean, they were so unreliable in the past that there's no way I was going to own one. I mean, the things just seemed like they never worked, so. Manny Lopez says, no gameplay videos with that barrel so far. I mean, one of the things that I want to test is like, I mean, they make two claims, right? I mean, they say that, let's go to this camera view. Let's also put that there so it's easier to see. But one of the claims they make, I mean, you can see that those, like, the porting on there. Oh, Jesus. Come on, baby. I guess we could do it. We're going to have to do it like that, probably. You can see the porting on there is just super small compared to, like, I don't know. What's a common barrel I got around here? Let's say a dye ultralight. If we compare it to the ultralight, you know, look at the porting. It's just crazy, you know, like, look at the porting at the end of the ultralight compared to the nano barrel. It's like essentially not there. I mean, you can barely line those ports up and see through them. The porting does get a little bigger toward the back, so it's really small at the front. And you can see it's a little bit more compressed, so it's closer together, and then kind of gets longer or further apart and a little bigger toward the back. But they claim that porting changes the sound signature of the gun, so it's a little bit quieter maybe, has a little bit different sound to it. At least over the stock carbon barrel. I mean, I'm going to try it with a couple different barrels. They also claim that those small holes help reduce how much water can get in the barrel. And they have done some tests that kind of prove that it does work. They had a thing at World Cup dropping water on it to try to test it out. Versus like those big, huge holes that are going to allow more water to get in. I mean, it does have far fewer holes. I think this has like 724 ports or something, or 634 or something crazy. So I just kind of want to test to see if it's going to be, you know, sound any different, and, you know, maybe see if it holds, not holds, but see if it works a little better with water ingress. But, you know, barrel videos are quite boring. Nobody really cares that much about barrel videos. So that's going to be something that does go over on that Patreon. I'm just going to probably do something not as edited as normal. Well, I'll still edit it, but not as like refined as normal. So that'll be on Patreon too for the amazing people that actually support this thing over on Patreon. On Patreon. And those will go to those silver and gold tiered people as well. So whoever's a silver tier and gold tier, that's how it works. I signed up. I'm a gold member. I already read that. Send it. You also said, my Shocker XLS shoots fantastic. Yeah, I've had some friends that loved those things. You know, I've had a couple of friends that really, really liked the Shocker RSX. And I don't know, we'll see with this era. One of the things that I'm kind of interested about on the era, we'll plop back over to that top-down view. Maybe, I don't know. Is, actually, where is it? Right, there it is. So you can see that there's those two O-rings on the front, but there's also that channel behind that, like, center O-ring. There's this channel right there. So apparently if you take this O-ring and move it to that channel, it's going to make the gun have a higher rate of, or have a higher flow rate. So it's going to technically, I think, be a little bit less air efficient, but going to work better in mechanical mode for some reason. I got to figure that out exactly why they say. It's going to work better in cold weather, or if you just have weird playing conditions. Apparently swapping that O-ring to that back right there is going to make the thing shoot different. I'm curious. I mean, there's been other manufacturers, you know, throughout time that have said they have products that, you know, do that as well. And I don't know. I feel like I don't really notice. This is also something I freaking hate about these guns. It's not the back cap. I don't really like the back cap, how it screws together. Yeah, there's been other companies that have said, you know, they have those parts on their guns too, and they maybe you can feel a little bit of a difference. So I don't know. Jose says, I have tons of shots on my amp. No problems. Ziggy, you finally turned 18 yesterday. Well, congratulations. Go buy some cigarettes. No, don't do that. Go buy some scratchers. That's kind of fun to do, but maybe not. Yeah, do that. Do that. That's probably better than smoking, maybe? I don't know. Don't go buy cigarettes. Maybe a cigar. Upset your parents. Just start smoking cigars. Is there a cell phone app for the Era? There is not. It is not Bluetooth. I'm like 99.999% sure. I mean, I've never thought about it, and I'm pretty sure that they would you know, make a big hay about it if it was. As far as I know, the only guns that have Bluetooth that connect to an app are the not shockers, are the Planet Eclipse guns. I can't wait for you to do a review on the new Force. I'm probably not going to. Mainly because it's the same exact gun. I mean, you know, it's not any different. I mean, it just has different milling. They have, though, over time, you know, changed a few things. Like there used to be a brass piece in there. There's now aluminum. They've, you know, made a couple pieces a little bit different, but it's essentially the exact same gun. It just looks a little different. So I probably won't. But I like that you're looking forward to it. I just don't know if it's happening. What else can we talk about? For all you die maniacs out there, all the die maniacs, there's some new triggers for your paintball guns. Die released, you know, I think this was about a week and a half ago. I just kind of missed it. But they have a bunch of new triggers. I'm sorry, five new triggers. They have four, we'll just say five. They have 5 triggers for the DSRs, DSR Plus, and then also the M2, the M3 Plus, M3S, and DLS. These all right here are the DSR triggers. They have that ball bearing and quite a bit more stuff in it, whereas the M3, M2 triggers just kind of have the face. So you're just kind of buying the front of the trigger. They don't include that ball bearing. So the DSR versions of these triggers are $50. There's the M2, M3 versions that are $45. And I don't really remember the names of these. I just can't. So one of them, hold on, let's see. So that right there is the rake I don't know. I've totally forgotten all the names and which is which, but there's the scythe trigger, there's a fang trigger, there's a rake trigger. That is certainly the reverse double trigger. That thing's ridiculous. There's been this trigger in the past, and I know that I've used this trigger on a gun, but I can't for the life of me remember what it was. I don't know. I want to say that they're calling that the Scythe 2, so it's just a little bit, it's like the Scythe trigger, but a little bit more straight. We're going to say, I like to say it's a little bit more relaxed, maybe. I believe that is the rake trigger. No, that's probably the rake trigger. The other one's probably the fang trigger. That's the lightning? I'm pretty sure that's the lightning. Either way, if you don't like your stock trigger on your DSR Plus or M3, you can get one of these cool triggers. They're neat. I kind of like the, my favorite one for sure is that one. I think that they released this for the M3s and they were calling it the Billy Wing. Is it Billy Wing like 21 or something, Bolt or something like that? I don't know. Triggers for your die guns. They're available right now. I think some of them are already sold out though. Already sold out. Paintball fingers. Paintball finger faster. What are your top hot dog water? What was your top product of 2023? You know, I actually had like, let's see if I have that still. A couple times I've done like, you know, best of 2022 or, you know, best of whatever year. I don't know though. Like there seems like nothing really has come out. I mean, I feel like every year I feel like there's not enough. I'm trying to see if I still have that document, but I might have just deleted it. Because I was going to do it, and I was like, I was going to do, yeah, best of 2023. But I don't know. It's kind of like the same problem I had when I was going to do, like, best starter paintball guns. It was, like, all going to be Planet Eclipse guns. So it was like, I don't know. You know, and not a lot of stuff comes out. So it's like, what's the best entry level or starter gun for this year? It's like, no one released anything. And it's like, best mid-range guns. I guess maybe you could say the Shocker Era or 180R. Best high-end guns, it's like CS3. I mean, because they're the only one that came out. So it's like, I don't know. There's not enough products to really kind of make it interesting. But I totally thought about it. But what would my like top product of 2023 be? You know, I want to go and pick a gun, but and I like to say like stuff that's come out this year too, not just like anything that I want. I don't know. I mean, probably the 180R. The 180R just shoots so well, and everyone's been very, very happy with those things. So I don't know. I guess that. What about the best used guns? Used? I don't know. I mean, probably the CS3 and I don't know, used, because you can buy anything used. I mean, it's not like they're only, I don't know. I don't know. I'd probably just say the same things because you can buy all that stuff used, right? How can I make backyard paintball more fun? Oh, man, I don't know. You know, honestly, I've only played like 2 or 3 times not at a paintball field. You know, most of the time I've always been at a paintball field. What I would try to do, and I think what a lot of paintball fields probably should do, is try to make up games, you know? Don't just do like, you know, capture the flag or whoever gets shot, you know, you shoot everyone and you're out. Do like games where like, you know, if you get shot in the arm, you just can't use this arm anymore. Or, you know, you get shot in the leg and you can't use your leg anymore. And you have to like hop around, shoot stuff, or, you know, make some shields out of cardboard. And then, you know, you can get people running around behind the shield. Like, I make up some crazy games, you know. I don't know. Yeah. Because I think that stuff's fun. I wish they'd do that more with rec stuff, too, and trying to make us do crazy stuff. I just think it's fun. The Sup Air might, do they make like inexpensive like airball bunkers? I don't even know. Nikki says they do. I imagine they do then. Do a chicken fight in the backyard with paintball markers. What does that mean? I think about chicken fights and I think about like rooster fights and like getting razor blades on their hands and they're like... They have individual bunkers. Sup Air definitely has, I don't even know if do they really like air ups, paintball bunkers. There's also air ups. Well, that is definitely not right. Sup Air is also the hang gliding company. Let's look at this all together. We're going to look at the Sup Air website. We're going to look at the Air Ups website. These like arenas they have are really cool. like these mega arenas and stuff. Paintball bunkers. A lot of the times they have like crazy things too. Like they have like tanks and all kinds of wild stuff. Yeah, who knows? I don't know. Ooh, shop. Let's see if we can buy bunkers. Doesn't look like it. Dude, look at how old that is. That's like 25 years old or something. Jeez. Modular arena. I mean, they definitely make bunkers. There's a kids one. Yeah, I was going to say, I know they have like multiple versions of these. They have like, they used to have a pro bunker and then they had like a regular field one and they were a little bit thicker and lighter for the pro versions. Oh, see, there's kids bunkers. Cool. Look at the friggin' eye on it. The Eye of Ra or whatever. We have like a sun god thing. It's very interesting. Dang, look at this little baby triangle. I'd like to see these bunkers on like regular fields. I think these are the cool ones though. These are the ones they have like a tank and like all kinds of stuff. No tank there. Ooh, let's just shop now. Air ups are also really good. I mean, air ups are a good alternative to those sup air bunkers. They're definitely made of a different material, though. Others are pretty cheap, though. That's not bad at all. That's actually a good price. But they're not shaped exactly the same. They're made of a different material, so they don't really, like, conform the same. I don't know. They're just a little bit different. I feel like they're more flexible. And there's definitely different versions of these as well, I think. That's not bad, though. Huh. How much do they sell an entire field for? You can also buy used fields with no start gate. That's 87. I think that's probably about, that's like a couple $1,000s cheaper than an entire sup airfield. You could also know that the NXL, they use brand new fields for every event, so they have to buy like 8 new fields, and they end up selling them after the tournament. So if you want to get like real cheap bunkers, the best time to do it's probably after tournaments. Paintball bunkers. Yeah, that PMI one's real old. I don't know. I mean, all the fields used to be like that. You guys can see if you go, like if we look at, where was it? Their shop. You can see that there's those hoses, right? They used to have like a blower. I actually don't really remember what was connected to the hoses, but they had hoses going to every single bunker for a while there. It was kind of weird. And then they put fans. They ended up putting like fans like this big on a side of the bunker, and then the fans. Oh, look at that. They had fans they would put like literally in the bunker to help keep them blown up. They're not doing that no more. Thank God. I don't know why they did in the first place. It was kind of weird. 8 new fields is like 80K. There's no way they're making that much plus profit. What do you mean? Well, they sell them afterwards, you know. It's probably more than, well, I don't know. It's kind of weird too, because they're obviously not paying regular price. They're not paying, you know, regular prices for them. I mean, they have to get some sort of deal because Sup Air is a sponsor. But then they do just sell them afterwards. So they're selling them for like $7,000 or something like that after the tournaments. That's where like 95% of where airball fields are all coming from, is all like secondhand from the NXL. Yeah. It's every season usually, not every event. Well, there we go. Then they're definitely saving some money that way. I thought it was every tournament. I guess they're, I don't know. I mean, they obviously don't really need to buy new bunkers every time, so. The paintball field I go to is Cousins Paintball isn't Staten Island, New York City? I'm gonna maybe put in Staten Island, or on Staten Island in New York City. Only outdoor field in New York City. Well, that's a good reason. I mean, shit. That's the problem. I mean, the problem is that's what we're running into in California too. I mean, like, there's fields that have closed, you know, like Camp Pendleton or Victory Paintball Park that was at Camp Pendleton in Oceanside or San Diego, California, was where the Ironman plays, where Dynasty played. Everyone played there. And they closed, I don't know, about a year ago. But the biggest problem is that, like, they can't really replace the place. Just because the land's so expensive, it's so difficult to go out and buy, like, you know, 50 or, you know, 60 acres in Southern California. It's like, you got like $3 million, $5 million just for the land. Good luck spending the extra like $2 million to actually build the field. Then you're in the $7 million later. It's like, what are we doing? It's crazy. Except when they added 30 million snake beams this year. Need new sets for sure. Well, you kind of just need new bunkers. You just kind of got to buy that bunker set, right? You got to buy this thing. You got to buy that thing right there to get all those beams. But then they removed those two little baby cakes too, right? So they're getting rid of two of the baby cakes or small cakes. Which is interesting. I don't know. It's too expensive to buy land in Cali, let alone a home right now. Yeah, tell me about it. Housing is like doubled. It's fucking crazy. It's absolutely nutso. Yeah, I kind of whipped through everything I kind of wanted to talk about. Oh well. Nikki! With that $3 super chat. Dude, my freaking, like, none of my stuff is working right. Like, literally nothing's working. Why is, like... Lumia stream is totally not working. I like it when it, like, goes off and stuff. Let's see. How can I fill my tanks without a compressor? If they're compressed air tanks, I mean, you can get one of those, like, you can get one of those, like, pumps. They make, you know, they make like a bike pump kind of situation. You can pump it up yourself. I mean, it's going to take you like 3 hours, I think. It's really, really difficult. And I don't know if it's worth it to me. I mean, the other alternative is a scuba tank. I mean, you can always do scuba tanks. Scuba tanks are a couple $100, and then you get a fill station, and you got to get it filled. But then there's also those like $300 air compressors they're selling on Amazon, which to me are terrifying. Like, I don't know if I necessarily trust some random thing from China to fill up my compressed air tank. We're going to run a test. I don't know. Hopefully it works. Someone should do a super chat and we can find out if it works or not. Yeah, there's those, like, you know, cheap air compressors from China that are like $300, but again, those things are kind of scary to me. So I don't really know. As Rennick said, there's the hand pumps. Hope you ate your Wheaties. Yeah, because it's like, it's a lot. I mean, you're like, I've never used it, but at one point I did the math and it was like hundreds. It was like 500, you know, pumps to fill a 68 or something like that. There's a fill station, $50 for a scuba only, getting 3,000. They're more than $50 though. I mean, you could buy a fill station for $50, but you got to buy a scuba tank, and you got to go get the scuba tank filled, and like that's going to be like $10. And then not everywhere's got scuba diving places too. So getting that actual tank filled can be a bit tricky. I mean, we used to fill them every weekend. Every time I went to the paintball field, I used to have to go get my scuba tank filled. Back before they had compressors at the paintball field, everyone was lugging around their own scuba tank. It was crazy. Goofy by nature. Do you think trying to find a new game style like the Challenger match tests at Cup, or think the format is fine the way it is? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I really don't know. I think that that weird stuff they did at Cup, that like 7-3 format or whatever they called it, I did not like that. I mean, that seemed just pointless. I didn't really understand. I don't really think there's a problem with the 5-on-5 format. I think that we just need something that's a little bit more like palatable and easier to watch by everyone, right? Whether you've never played paintball or you like me who've been playing paintball forever, I just kind of wish that we could find something a little easier to watch. And I think that this is probably what we should be doing more of. I really like these one-on-ones. This is, I'm not on the right monitor. This is Yosh Rao and Alex Fragi playing the Hormesis Elite Tour. This is a little bit of an exhibition. And I should say, tomorrow, Hormesis on their YouTube channel are going to drop the finals from this, about the whole tour they did in LA. So that should be cool to watch. But I just like this. I think that this one-on-one format is very interesting for a lot of reasons. I think that if we're focusing on two people overall, it allows a lot more talking and bantering. You can kind of like understand the players a little bit better. You can maybe learn their personalities a little bit. And it's just very easy to watch. I mean, you only have two people, so it's really easy to set the cameras up and be in the right positions. And it's very exciting. I mean, this match was really good. I mean, I think when you get really good players playing against each other, you get the scores really close. So right here, I got to move myself because I can't see that, but it's, 10-9. That's really good. I mean, it's fun to watch, right? I think it'd be kind of cool if they had a 2-pointer for this. Like if you shoot a guy off the break, you can get 2 points. But I don't know. I don't necessarily think that we need to change the NXL Pro format. I would just like to see more alternative things played as well. Like maybe 1-on-1s, 3-on-3s, and just more one-off tournaments too. I've been talking about this a lot, but I remember Skyball back in the day. There was the International Open, International Amateur Open, and they were just one-off big tournaments. It's kind of like we're doing with Mechanical now, but I think it'd be great to see us do a 7-man semi-only or 3-man only, but make them very large tournaments so they're just kind of fun and exciting. I think because we're kind of missing, if you ask me, a little bit of excitement within paintball. Everything's kind of like bland, and I feel like we've been doing the same thing for so long that I just kind of like to see something a little bit different. That's about all. Nikki says 1-on-1 or 1v1 format can overtake cities and grow the sport. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I don't know. I filmed a lot of the Hormesis. Oh, really? I filmed a lot of the Hormesis events in California and was definitely a fun format. But think they could definitely add a few things to spice it up. But I guess it depends on layout. At the last event in Southern California, at the last event at SC Village I filmed, the layout was too parallel and everyone got shot off the break. For sure. Oh, I don't know though. I mean, I think that's kind of the part of the thing though too. I really like how I really like that. How they can like stand and look at each other like that off the break. I think it makes it more interesting. I think it speeds it up. Because imagine if you had like an actual back center bunker. I think that you just hide a little bit more. And I think in this format, you instantly know where each other are, and it makes it more difficult to hide. So I think it makes it a little more, maybe like a little more exciting. Maybe? I don't know. Maybe not. Who knows? What? I don't know. Let's sign. I don't know. We'll find. Let's go find your. Let's go find your Hormesis video. If I search this, will it work? I think so. Did you put them on here? Maybe we watched them already, and I was like, oh, I don't want to watch that. Man, I can't see. There we go. Todd Boyer and who? Charles, did you put it in the description? I probably wouldn't have. Oh, maybe I did. Maybe we did watch some of this. Just don't take me down. Just don't. When YouTube alerts you to this video, don't like copyright strike it or anything. Was this the actual, this isn't the actual finals match though, is it? This is just the finals or something. This isn't like the playing for the win, right? Because wasn't it like Todd Boyer and Tommy Greenleaf, I think, in the finals? You know, I think this would be very fun to watch, but I don't know if I would want to play it necessarily. I think that at one point in my life I would have wanted to play this, but like it's very like competitive and, you know, whatever, and I just don't care about that anymore. I just kind of want to go dick around and have fun with my friends and just kind of goof off. Like that's what I want to do when I play paintball. I'm not so much into like the competitive side of it anymore. I'd like to play it, but I wouldn't want to play a whole thing where it's like 40 minutes of one-on-ones. It'd be gnarly. It'd be very difficult. I heard my music in the background and I was like, that sounds like the music I use. So this is all at SC Village, right? This is all SC Village. I know, I was totally joking about takedowns. But you never know, dude. I've never gotten, no one's ever said anything to me, so. Oh, Mike Hinman. I once saw Mike Hinman try to punch a Russian Legion guy. It was crazy. Big old haymaker. He totally missed. It was crazy. I would be so bad at this, though. Like, I'm not that good at paintball. I'm just not. Like, I always feel like I know... That was pretty cool. I always feel like I know what to do. Like, you know, it's same like if I watch basketball. I feel like I know what to do, right? Like, what the players should do. I just can't execute it. You know, I can't, like... I'm not that good at snap shooting. I'm just not that good of a shot. You know, I'm just not good. I look like it, though. I look like I'm good. That's what matters. But paintball is one of those things where it's hard to see who's good, you know, like a lot of other sports we can watch, and a lot of other sports we can watch and you're like, damn, that guy's good, because you can physically see it. You can see him dunking or making the three-pointer or, you know, whatever. Where it's like paintball, it's so like, it's so nuanced. It's very difficult to tell who's like actually good. Oh, it's only 10 minutes. it would be exhausting, you know, because you got to play one-on-ones, and I think they only give you, is it a 20-second break or like a 30-second break in between points? Something like that. I don't know. We're not going to watch this literally entire thing. Let's we'll put a link. Oh, there we go. Oh, whoa, whoops. Damn, what am I doing? There's a link right there. You guys can go watch that. In the chat, there's a link. And then I'm going to put a link in the description as well. So you guys can actually, if you want to go actually watch this, which you probably should, you know. Let's, we're going to go, let's just copy, what is this not like, having all kinds of problems. There we go. There is a link in the description to watch that entire thing if you guys want. Do that. Okay, what are you actually saying over here? But anyways, I appreciate you pulling it up. Yeah. I have a ton of raw and cinematic edits on this for anyone who wants to see any of it. Yeah, go look. We had a bunch of videos, actually. You know, I don't watch a lot of paintball videos. I think that, I don't know. It's like paintball is all I do. It's like all I think about. So sometimes I don't want to watch paintball stuff. So it's kind of very rare that I even like sit down to watch it. Switchy says, Switchy310, you can see a person's posture and how they play. Usually there's a pretty good telltale sign if they're good. For sure. But that's what I was saying, kind of like I look like I know what I'm doing, but then I just miss everybody, you know? Like, I don't necessarily look like I don't know what I'm doing. I just don't know what I'm doing. Well, I should say I know what I'm doing. I don't know how to do it. But I think that's just because I don't really care. You know, I've never really, like, cared. I mean, at one point I did, and I know that I got quite a bit better when I was doing drills and stuff. But now I don't really care so much. I kind of just want to, like, go have fun. What pods do you recommend? You know, I just like regular pods. I really like the Dye Alpha pod. The new HK Army, I think they're called... No, what the hell do they call those things? Blanking on. The HK Army... the HK Army Apex. The HK Army Apex pods are really good. The Dye pods are really good. But I just really like regular, just cheap Gen X pods. I don't know. Do I have any regular pods around here? The kind I don't like, I'm not a fan of all these like, you know, locking pods. Like Virtue's FP pod. There's those flick locks from HK, the Dye lock lid. I just don't really like them. I find that, like, sometimes they work fine. Like, this one's perfect. You know, this one's got no problems at all. But a lot of the times, those, like, these pods, you know, they're only like $10 or $6 or $8. They're pretty cheap, right? So they can't really, like, spend a ton of money making these lids. So every once in a while, you'll get one that just doesn't really work right. It's like the plastic mold is just slightly too big. And they like get stuck when you're pressing the button, or, you know, sometimes they don't close well. So I kind of just prefer regular, inexpensive pods. And there's something that I lose a lot, so I don't really like to spend a lot of money on pods. I just kind of want the cheapest ones possible. And the Gen X pods are perfectly fine. You know, I got no problems with those things at all. Ben Lawton says the HK Apex lids definitely stay closed. They take some effort to open. Yeah, they're just a little stiffer for sure. But I like the material they're made out of. I really like that, like, softer kind of plastic. How it's not like, I don't know. It's not. They just feel a little bit nicer than like the Gen X pods. But I don't know. I've been using those just freaking Gen X style pods my entire life, so they work perfectly fine for me. Yep. D-Rec, shout out. Okay, here we go. Shout out Goofy and the No One's Safe crew. Shout it out. What else we can talk about? That might be my end of my list. You know what you guys can do? You can head over to the Paintball Ruined My Life store, where you can buy some cool headbands like all of these ones behind me, or, you know, like the ones in these videos. They're only $30. I mean, really, $30? It's pretty good. PaintballRuinedMyLife.com, or you can, you know, head to that link right there on the screen. There's quite a few different options in there. There's like solid black stuff. There's some crazy colors, or, you know, some subdued stuff. I really like this. This is probably the most popular headband. That's not what I wanted to do. That is probably the most popular one, I think, in the store right now, the Explorer version. But there's like very few of those left. I think there's only like 3 or 4 of those left. There's the Star, there's the Checker, there's the Olmec. The Olmec is also cool. I like the Olmec one. That one I named Belly because it reminds me of Austin Powers, you know. There's a bunch of them in there. PaintballRuinedMyLife.com. And you can buy headbands. You could buy that hat right there. You could get barrel covers like that right there. Whole loads of barrel covers. Barrel covers are $7, or there's a 3-pack for $15. There's also a 3-pack of those headbands for $75. I was going to say $35. That's a little too cheap. $35 is way too cheap. $75. Yeah, go over there, support this Paintball Ruin My Life channel, and the more money I can make, hopefully the more videos we can make, and we're going to pay somebody to film this next weekend. Support the channel if you like these videos. At least like the damn thing. You know, we got like, how many of you idiots are in here? 113, and there's 77 likes. If I can get to 600 likes within the next hour, I will eat my shoe. No, I don't want to eat my shoe, really. But do like the video. Like I'm something. I don't know. Have you tried a HK Army watermelon paintballs? I have not yet. I don't think I've even seen it in person yet. Although I don't know if I ever will, honestly. I mean, because the paintball store around me, I don't think that they ever have HK paint at Sac Paintball here in Sacramento. And the paintball field I go to, Capital Edge, they definitely don't use HK stuff. So I don't even know if I'll ever see it unless HK sends me some, which they probably won't. I think I'd like a paint sponsor. That's what I want. Have you seen the Whisper Drive for the Gamma Core from Paintball Gateway? Yep, we have. We talked about it. That one right there. Yeah, you can rewind back, and we talked about it for like 10 minutes or something like that. It's pretty cool. We'll see. But it's hard to say Gamma Core because it's only actually for the EMEC, EMF 100, and ETHA 2. Mainly because, I mean, if you have an ETHA 3, you have that firing chamber, I think that's what they call this thing, which is almost the exact same thing compared to the EMEC version that's like that. So that's the EMEC, ETHA 3, EMEC, ETHA 3, EMEC, ETHA 3. So you can see it's just way more open, and really kind of the exact same as the Paintball Gateway version. Schwartz, see you next week. I'll be here. We're not leaving totally yet. Probably the return of mech paintball is the best way to increase the audience and not confuse people. I don't think so. I mean that people with rental e-mechs can compete with high-end stuff. You know, I honestly don't know. I think that one of the like intriguing things about tournament paintball is that the guns shoot fast. I mean, if you ask ask a kid, a lot of them are going to find that that's pretty fun, but I also think it can kind of be intimidating at the same time. So it's kind of like a catch-22. No, maybe, I don't know. But I don't know if that matters, right? I don't know if just having mechanical guns would like make people play paintball, because who's not playing because they're electric? You know, people are like, I'm not playing paintball because they're electric. I don't know if that's necessarily happening. I think that having guns like the E-Mech can help make paintball grow, because you're just getting, inexpensive good guns in the hands of people that have never played before. It's like, would you rather use the E-Mech or would you rather use a Spider? It's like, obviously the E-Mech is considerably better all around. So I think, I've said that before. I think that that's kind of why Planet Eclipse did it. I think that Planet Eclipse has reached the point where they've saturated their market, right? I mean, everyone who owns a Planet Eclipse gun, or everyone who's going to buy a Planet Eclipse gun, has a Planet Eclipse gun. It's kind of like Apple with iPhones. It's like everyone's just got iPhones, so the only way for them to increase their sales is create new products. Chris Williams, that finally the super chat thing kind of worked. It took forever. I appreciate that $19.99, dude. And you just celebrated your third super on a live stream. It's weird it says celebrate your third super. I should say like super chat, but thank you. You're the first person to show up in this super chatters thing too. So very much. I appreciate it. Yep. My school has one for a senior trip. My third, I don't know what's going on there. Fullerton paintball team. So Cal State Fullerton. I know I was trying to look up something for college paintball, and I've never really followed college paintball, so I don't really know ever what is happening. I thought that college paintball went away and then it came back, but then I saw that they had a tournament last year or something, so I was all confused. Long Beach State, and wasn't it a school in Florida? Those were probably the best two for a long time. I mean, Long Beach State had a couple pro guys on their team for a while, which is kind of weird. Do you know of any paintball clinics this year? Nope. Well, next year. Oh, I guess it is 2024. Damn, that water splashed and it's on my eyelash. I don't. Just because I don't really know anyway. I don't even really keep track of that stuff, really. I'm thinking about what the best way to do it is. I mean, obviously all the pro guys that do clinics, Marcelo or Harrison Fry or Rainey Stanzak or, whatever guys, they'll obviously post on Instagram and their social stuff when they're having it and what they're doing. But honestly, I would maybe, contact your local field and ask if they have ever thought about doing a clinic or if they know of any coming up. Because that's where, Ben, hold on. Yeah, because honestly, that's how it works, right? The paintball fields will a lot of the time contact the pro players and ask them if they want to come do a clinic and whatever. So maybe ask your local field, see if they're interested. Say oh, I'd love to do a clinic if you want to, we could have a clinic or something like that. That's what I would try. Ben with that $10, dude. I had some salmon earlier. My hand kind of smells like salmon. which is weird because I definitely didn't eat it with my hands. Anyway, Brad, my team captain has been talking about zone callouts versus bunker callouts, but I can't help but wonder why you would call out zones versus specific bunkers. When would they be more beneficial? Oh man, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I think that I think that if I was in charge of a lot of paintball teams, or if I was like a coach of a pro team, I would make it extremely complicated and no one would like it, right? Because we'd have all kinds of audibles. There'd be a lot of different codes we would have. And I don't know if I would want the players calling zones out. Like, let's say like, it's hard to do this without like a layout. How to like explain this without a layout. Let's see if I can very, very quickly pull a layout up of just freaking any layout ever. That's a very small picture. Let's open this one. That's a very small picture. Everything I have is everything's super small. Okay, there's one. I want to go here. So I think that, like, let's look at this. Like, I think that it makes sense, obviously, to call this like Snake 1. That's the god. But I also think it might make sense to have like specific zone calls too. So say you're in this back center, right? And you can shoot this snake gap right there. I think that maybe calling that a specific thing would make sense. Like if you were like, shoot the god zone, right? If like, you know, someone over on this side's like thinks that the god is gonna move to the snake, you could just say, hey, back center, shoot the god zone. And then that's that zone right there. So you know that, oh, okay, I need to be shooting this to try to catch the guy moving into snake. I think that that could work, right? Having specific areas on the field that you can put paint through would make sense. But I think only using that when you need someone to shoot it would be a good idea, right? I think that still probably calling out bunker names is a good idea. Like, you know, Snake 1, Snake 2, back right, whatever your bunker name calls are. Consistently doing that is probably good. But I think that adding on zones doesn't really help. Unless you're saying like, you know, the god is shooting the corner zone or the god is shooting the 50 zone. If you're like telling people what other people are doing, that might make sense. Because it gets kind of confusing when you're like, you know, Snake 1, Snake 2, back right, you know, back center. And then you put like zones on top of it of where those people are shooting. I mean, it can be done, but I think that adding that complexity is kind of difficult for a lot of people. I mean, I know that, like I said, if I was like a pro coach, I would probably make it overly complicated because that's kind of what I would want. But then that also requires like studying and like people being very, very aware of like where everything is, and you have to know everything. So I don't know. I really don't know. I don't really have an answer. I think that it's probably what you mean. I mean, you know, calling out areas could be good if you don't know where people are at, but you've got to find out where those people are at, so I think so. What do people think? Front players are called ones now, mid insert 2s, and back players 3s. Yeah. Maybe you were answering our question. Yeah, I think that one of the problems that paintball has too is like I've never been coached really. You know, I've had paintball like coaches, but no one really like that it really knew what they were talking about. It's not like I have like Marcelo or like, you know, we were talking about Rainey Stanzak earlier. It's not like I have one of those guys that are helping me. It was just kind of like nonsense coaching. And I think that that's one of the biggest problems that we have is like, dude, there is a big gap in knowledge between pro and even Division 2. You know, a lot of the Division 2 guys don't really know how to execute a lot of the stuff that the pro guys are even doing. So I think that's one of the biggest problems we have with paintball is there's not a good coaching system, and we don't know how to coach it, and we don't know a lot of basic things. Like other sports, it's like, you know, there's such like a system in place for other sports that there's not really in paintball. I know the NXL talked about doing a coach's clinic, so it's possible that the NXL will have some sort of clinic for coaches in the future, which would be great. I mean, having some of like the pro coaches, like if Todd Martinez and, you know, Dave Baines did it, that'd be crazy. It'd be like perfect. Ben, that's how I've felt. It seems like you can do it, but it's one more thing to keep track of in the moment, for sure. And we already suffer from people not even calling out any bunkers or kill counts or G counts. I mean, sometimes your guys just get locked in and they're just like, and like don't think. It's like you have to be like thinking about a lot of stuff at the same time. And I think adding that just makes it even more crazy. He was intending for us to use them as part of the field. So there are 3 zones, to which I don't understand why we didn't just say Dorito, Center, Snake. The problem is there's like 400 zones. Because normally when we're talking about zones, it's like shooting lanes, you know? It's like this is a zone. From the back center to like this is a snake. This is a zone, right? It's like these areas, like this whole area would be a zone for the back center guy. So the back center can shoot this zone, and then on the other side they could like probably shoot less because all this crap in the way. But that's normally what we're talking about. Another thought is that the pros forged during the PSP have more move timings. They had net side coaching telling them when they could move during real games. Lots of us didn't have that. Dude, that sucks though. I mean, honestly, sideline coaching is terrible. It's too much information. I really don't like it. I think that, I mean, the timing might have been better because you can have someone like watching the other player and be like, go now, and then move. But I honestly think that the teams that used coaching the best seldomly used it, right? Because sometimes you get people being like, go over here and do this and shoot the inside and shoot outside. And like, it's like too much information almost because you don't really know where those people are. It's like, if I knew to shoot inside, I'd be shooting inside. But then you're just going to tell me to shoot inside. And it's like, oh, I don't know where everyone's at. Like, I don't know, what am I doing? So I don't know. I didn't like it. I found it more difficult. I actually would prefer to just do what I want and let me think, right? Because you've got that person yelling at you like that. It's very hard to like concentrate on what's actually happening. So I didn't like sideline coaching at all. And I think that I played every version of it. When there was at one point the coach was behind the start gate. At one point they were over on the snake side. At one point they were on the Dorito side. I didn't like it at all. I was not a fan. You know, Switchy's like, I remember when we was 15. For sure. I mean, I played 15 PSP, right? I mean, I remember playing PSP when it was semi-auto. Right? PSP was semi-auto, right? At one point. I mean, obviously it was 10-man, But even in X-Ball, it was semi, like 99% sure. And then we went to 12.5, and then it was like this weird thing. And then, you know, I really think that like 10.5 is pretty good. Maybe 11, but a 12.5 is insane. I mean, 12.5 is too fast. I mean, 15 is just nuts. I mean, people are too good, and the paint is too good, the equipment is too good. I mean, if we were shooting 15 balls a second, no one would survive off the break. Like, everyone would just stay in that like center pocket and just sit there and shoot the whole game. Because you couldn't move. I mean, no one could move. It'd be crazy. Old Soul says, Bob Long with joystick, Tyler Harmon down the snake. That is true. He's way better than I am, though, so, you know, he actually has that. I like that clip of Nicky Hubert telling his coach to shut up when he wanted him to move to the next bunker. That's funny. For sure, because it's like too much information. It's like people are shooting at you, you're personally trying to figure out where people at, and then you have this person just yelling at you. And it's like, you're telling me to move, but I don't really know why I'm moving. Like, I don't really know what's happening, so it's like kind of confusing. Obviously, you could know what's happening if they're telling you, but not actually seeing where people are at and understanding it makes it very difficult. I was not a fan. I was going to say origami paintball, but that looks like onigami. I don't know. Sideline coaching is a pro in a pro level. Wouldn't be fun to watch. Paintball Fit, they do sideline coaching in the Mech X-Ball events, but it's a tournament that is mainly for fun, and sideline coaching makes it entertaining. Yeah, and I think paintball's part of it. It's like, I mean, part of paintball is being sneaky, right? And like surprising people and all that stuff. And it's like, if you have sideline coaching, it just defeats the whole purpose. Because one of the other things that would always happen is you'd get, you know, you'd be in the snake one, right? And you'd be shooting the sideline or shooting inside or something. And then your coach would be like, oh, go bunker the snake one. Like, go now and bunker the snake one. So you'd get up and run the snake one. And then the other coach would just be like, he's coming, he's coming. And then everyone would just stand over the top and be like, and then just mow people down. So it was kind of like, it would help you bunker people, but at the same time, the other coach would just yell, you know, shoot the snake or whatever, and then everyone would just turn over when you're running on the sidelines. So it kind of took away that like sneakiness aspect of paintball. I hated it. I'd rather play 12.5, but I don't know if I could afford that nowadays. I'm with you, dude. I can't afford to like shoot 2 cases of paint every weekend. That's kind of why I don't. Huh. I don't know. I totally lost my train of thought there. But I like the rate of fire. I think the rate of fire is perfect. I kind of think that I was kind of thinking there for a while, I'd kind of like to see pro be mechanical. I mean, I'd really like to see mechanical pro. Because I think that semi-auto would be cool. But now with the electronic guns, I mean, the guys are shooting like 18 balls a second in semi-auto. So, I mean, some people are. Very few people really are. But that's just crazy. So I'd like semi-auto, but I'd like it, you know, capped kind of. You know, I don't really want to shoot faster than 10, but I don't want electric guns that are semi-auto and capped at 10, because then it just becomes ramping. It's just kind of pointless. Why is it 12 or 10.2 now instead of an even number? I honestly don't know. I always just say 10.5 still, but I really don't know. I really don't. I mean, I could have told you at one point. Yep, you could for sure old soul mechanical with double triggers. Maybe though, I mean, I don't know, because like, I still think that it would just, the rate of fire would just be nuts. It's like, I made, you know, the double trigger E-mech where I cut the trigger guard off of my E-mech. Let's see if the video comes up. We'll just go over to this really quickly. and I'll show you my double trigger EMEC. So, I mean, this thing, you know, this is a double trigger mechanical gun. And this is coming from me. You know, I don't shoot fast at all. But, I don't know what I'm doing there. I mean, this paint's just shooting all over the goddamn place. But see, it's like you can almost shoot it just as fast as an electric gun. It's like not any different. So like, you know, imagine if I set this up nice, or if it was actually a really nice gun, you know, if it was a $1,500 gun or something, I assume you'd get tons of people shooting 10 or, you know, 15 something balls a second. And then it's just kind of like, I don't know, defeats the purpose. And I also think that it wouldn't be necessarily good for paintball. I kind of think that us having these electronic guns and coming out with new guns kind of helps keep the industry a little bit more interesting and exciting. Whereas if they were using mechanical guns, they'd just be using, you know, you could use a friggin' EMEC and it just wouldn't be any different. So, but I don't know, maybe not, because there are a bunch of cheap electronic guns that are really good too. So, I don't know. Mech double trigger can go faster than 10.5. I have an autococker and a mag, which I can get to 15. That's crazy. I mean, you could definitely do it on the new guns. I mean, yeah, it's just way, way easy. Very true. But it would be individual talent over a programmer. Just would have to guard against those full auto mods, which you can kind of hear pretty easily. For sure. I mean, that's kind of why I thought it would be cool to be mechanical. It kind of adds like another skill set. But people have kind of always said that about semi-auto. You know, I mean, think about the MPPL, and it's like, oh, it takes skill to shoot fast. It's like, yeah, it does, for sure. But I just don't like shooting fast. I don't think it'd be good. You know, I don't want to shoot 20 balls a second. I don't want to play against people that shoot that fast either. What do you think will change in 50 years of paintball? In 50 years, paintball gun designs. I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea. PB, it's like the quantum mechanics in paintball. The opponent has a certain percentage chance to be in a different place and then only exists in one until you check. That's called the Heisenberg uncertainty principle. I don't know what it has to do with paintball. The opponent has a certain percentage chance to be in a different place and then only exist in one. Yep. Heisenberg. Not the, you know, the actual Heisenberg. I think about Heisenberg and I think about Breaking Bad, though. It's a different Heisenberg. Or is that Schrodinger? I think there's a couple things there that are kind of conflated. I think it's the Heisenberg uncertainty principle, and I don't know. Dude, I've forgotten all that stuff. Anyway. Enough about physics for today. I don't know. What are we going to talk about? Or I'm going to go. Schrodinger's paintball theory. Something. I don't know. Well, I don't know. If you guys want to go buy stuff, we've already talked about this. But definitely go to the Paintball Ruined My Life store, where you can get, you know, what is going on here? There we go. You can get some Paintball Ruined My Life headbands for $75. You can actually buy 3. So you could buy 6 headbands for the price of a single Hormesis headband. We know Hormesis is good. I don't think we should not support Hormesis, but I'd prefer you support me. Have you played the Normandy Beach invasion at Skirmish? No, unfortunately I have not. I would love to. I mean, it's just kind of far away for me. I've had some friends who've gone, though. A long time ago, though, they went to Ion? Is it Ion or D-Day? I don't remember. Buy some paintball, ruin my life stuff. And then maybe I'll be able to afford to go to skirmish paintball. Thoughts on the Canadians having thoughts? That's funny. Do the Ironmen have more Canadians than Impact? No way. Because the Ironman got... Damn, I totally had this on here today too, and I got rid of it. Did I not? I don't think I did not. So Scott Graham's Canadian. And they also got another person who's Canadian, but I can't for the life of me remember right now who it is. But Impact's got... Man, maybe they do only have 2 Canadians. I don't know. Let's go look at the Impact roster. Let's look at Impact's roster from last year. So they have... What is going on? I don't know why, like... Does this, like, keyboard not work? What the heck's happening? Go. Jeez. Events, NXL, season rankers. Actually, I don't know. I'll look at that. Let's look at they might have 2, right? I mean, Zane, or no, maybe only 1? Yeah, I was going to say Zach. Okay, because Zach's actually been playing, but I don't think he played World Cup. Did he actually play a World Cup? Okay, I was thinking Brandon. So Justin Cornell, yeah, that's funny. You know, the one thing that I was kind of wondering too is that, you know, the whole time Bart would always say that the reason he had the team is for his sons. And Zane really hasn't been playing, but it looks like Zach still does. I haven't really paid that much attention. Yeah, he's still been in everything. Do they have more or do they have the same amount? Who are the Canadian guys on the Ironman? We're trailing off because I said I was going to leave. So everyone's cutting out. I don't know. Anyway. Snapshot. All right. You guys, well, I'm going to leave. You guys enjoy the rest of your evening. Have fun this weekend. You know, if you go play paintball. I know it's like, you know, cold in some places and whatever, but have fun. I'm not going to go play, but I will be at the paintball field. I'm going to go watch the Mechanical X-Ball tournament at Capitol Edge Paintball Park. Oh, I'm hungry. My favorite team is Extreme. Cool. New York Extreme, I imagine. Took me a second to put that together. I was like, cool. Sounds like it's like a Division 4 team or something. Okay. Thank you guys for coming by. Everyone who partakes in chats, you know, you're actually like active and like hanging out. I much appreciate it. Everyone who's liking the live stream, I much appreciate it. All you super chatters out there, it's freaking amazing. It's fantastic. We had Sack Roots with a super chat. We had Nick Ferris with a super chat. Nikki Vesey, the super chat. Chris Williams, and then Ben Lawton. Thank you guys so very much. You 5 gentlemen, maybe? I think it's all gentlemen. It's probably all gentlemen. I want to say that the ratio is like 99.8 men to 0.2 woman. That's how it goes. Anyway, all right, guys. Come back next weekend. No, next week. Thursday. 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're going to hit this end button, and I'm gone.